Hi, thank you for listening. This is Sherry Andrea. I wanted to today discuss a little bit about chakra work. This is actually very specific to something I was discussing with a friend of mine. And often some of the discussions that I have with friends, they give me great ideas for things to discuss, things to share with people. I have these discussions with my friends where they ask me a question or we're discussing something, and I clarify for them certain things, and then I think, oh, you know what, this is awesome to write about or to share in a video because I think this will be helpful to people. So one of the things that I want to share with you is related to chakra work. So this isn't about chakra work, but this is something that's very important and related to chakra work. And I think that after discussing this with you, for some of you, for many of you, a light bulb's going to go off and you're going to have a lot better understanding about chakra work and what happens. And it's going to put you in a position where you're going to feel like you could do chakra work safer and more effective. Okay, first of all, I want to mention something. Now, keeping in mind that I'm not at a beginner stage anymore, that beginning where I first started doing chakra work. There's something very important that you need to make note of. Now, when I do chakra work, and let's say I work intensively on either a chakra or a set of chakras, I try to make sure that I only do that like every 6 weeks. So what I'm saying is, for example, if I do chakra work on, let's say I target my upper chakras or my lower chakras, then I basically make a mental note to myself, okay, we're not going to do this for another 6 weeks. The reason why is because, first of all, it takes time when you do chakra work for those chakras to, for them to clear. When you do chakra work, think of it as out of chakra work, you're always advancing to another level. So you don't do chakra work without it advancing you and pushing you to another level. And there is a little bit of time that is needed for that to happen. Already from doing intensive chakra work, you're going to be dealing with the repercussions of that. The reason why I call it repercussions is because sometimes the symptoms from doing that chakra work can be, I guess you could perceive it as being bad. For example, it's not uncommon to do chakra work and to, within the next couple of weeks, feel easily agitated, easy to anger. That's probably one of the worst symptoms that come out of doing chakra work, is that it seems to, as the chakras are trying to clear themselves and do what they do, it seems to throw you off for a couple of weeks. It's very important to remind yourself that if you've done chakra work, these things happen. There are symptoms from doing chakra work because you don't want to be caught off guard. You don't want to, day after day be losing your cool, spazzing out, and then getting overly concerned, like, what's wrong with me? Yeah, I used to do that. And then I have to remind myself, oh yeah, that's right. I did work on such and such a chakras intensely, and this is why I'm now, going through a little bit of an adjustment period where my emotions are all over the place. You have to remind yourself of that. If you can remind yourself and keep that in the back of your mind, you can usually keep a little bit better control. So I just wanted to put that out there, that you have to pay attention at times to how often you're working a chakra or a set of chakras. Okay, now to get to what I want to discuss today. This is based on something a friend of mine told me. He was explaining, we were discussing the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. And I have a link to the online book for the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. And he was just telling me, I was thinking I was going to have to buy the book, and then I saw you a link to the online version of it, and I'm so excited. Now I'm not going to have to buy it, and I can, start reading it. And he was telling me that he'd come across someone who was basically journaling their experience with doing the meditation that's within that book, the one where you balance yourself to the poles. And what it's really all about is the purpose of that particular meditation is eternal life. It's a meditation that is supposed to basically keep you from dying. That as long as you do this meditation where you're balancing yourself to the north and the south poles, that you will never taste of death. And that as long as you do it, you will keep living. Okay, well, that's true and not true at the same time, because you actually have to question, well, what else is needed for that to be able to happen, for you to not die? Obviously, it's not that simple, so let me put that out there first before you go running for the book, to do these meditations to say, okay, I won't die. You obviously have to be at a certain level for that to be able to be possible. You actually have to be at a level of enlightenment for that to happen, to be able for that to work for you. So I don't want anybody to rush out, do these meditations, and then wonder, why it doesn't work for them. I guess you could say when you read some of these books that are really at an advanced level, very hard to understand. The Emerald Tablets of Thoth, it's very symbolic. If you're not good at translating symbolism, then you're going to have a little bit of a hard time understanding what this book is actually really telling you. You cannot read it literally. But anyway, the person was doing the meditation, and my friend had told me, they were journaling their experience as they were going along, and they were doing the meditation, where you spend a certain amount of time laying down in meditation for a period of time with your head pointing to the south, and a period of time with your head pointing to the north. And we use a compass to do this. And he was explaining that she was doing this for 2 hours a day. And during that time, she was also doing chakra work at the same time. So basically what she was doing was, she was doing while I'm already lying here and doing this meditation for this, let me throw in the chakra work. Okay, first of all, no. Let me tell you why I say no. Because you create what you're focused on. Basic principles of the law of attraction is you get what you're focused on. And unfortunately, the Thoth meditation is no longer going to be effective if what you're doing at the time and what you're focused on is chakra work. You're basically defeating the purpose. Your focus should be on that at the time you're doing it. That's one thing. The other thing is, as she was journaling her experience, and, I applaud anyone that does this, that says, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to journal experience so people can see what happened, what's going on. Well, great for her. I applaud her, and bad at the same time. The reason why is because from her experience, someone might say, she got such bad results. It affected her so negatively. That's not good to do. The Emerald, that meditation in Emerald Tablets of Thoth, that's bad. That's not good to do. There's a reason why she didn't get good results and why she actually got very bad results. If she's doing the meditation every day and for 2 hours, and she's throwing in chakra work along with it, so she's doing chakra work the whole 2 hours every day, then basically what she ended up getting, and probably by the probably third or fourth day of doing this, is she overstimulated all of her chakras. Unfortunately, if you overstimulate your chakras to an extreme, you can actually, one, damage the chakras. And once you damage them, it could take a year more for those chakras to be healed to a point where you can even begin to do chakra work again. I'm not really sure how long she did this, but from my understanding, she did this quite some period of time. So what ends up happening is you overstimulate the chakras. So you might as well say they're out of balance, because, you know, there's the chakras, you can be, underactive or overactive or just right. So what she ended up with is overactive chakras. For some chakras, that has, all the chakras do different things, are responsible for different things. So an overactive chakra can lead to many different things. It would not only affect your use of psychic abilities, but it can lead to illnesses as well. She was doing this every day, and so when he told me, I was like, oh, wow. Of course she didn't, of course it didn't go well, and he said that, she wrote about these experiences she was having, how she began to not feel well. Now, my guess is she probably ended up telling people this is not a good meditation to do. And that's unfortunate, because of her lack of knowledge and understanding, unfortunately, she would give someone the impression that the Thoth meditation, was bad to do and has a bad effect on you, when the reality is that she didn't use it the way it was supposed to be used. You know how you buy a product from a store and there's instructions on it, and it actually says, tells you that you must use the product the way the directions tell you to prevent, like damage to yourself, whatever. If it's like a hair care product, they'll say to avoid, damage or hair falling out your scalp, doing this and that. You have to follow the directions exactly, and it usually says that the manufacturer won't be responsible if damage happens to you because you don't follow the instructions correctly. Well, basically, it's the same thing. She read the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. She didn't actually do what it said, because it did not say do chakra work at the same time. I know this because I read the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. And I understood very well what it said to do. It did not say to do chakra work at the same time. It did not say that this is just like a shopping cart that we can just throw whatever we want in. You know what? Spiritual work on the chakras, all of these things, you have to take it seriously. Very seriously. Because you can end up hurting yourself. This is the exact reason why a lot of Buddhist masters, even in this day and age, will not share higher level information with just anybody, and will tell their students, whatever I teach you, do not share it with anyone. Why? Because a simple thing like her adjusting what she's doing, throwing chakra meditation in there, can actually hurt herself. So this is the reason why a lot of like Buddhist masters will tell their students, whatever I teach you, do not share it with anyone. Because that knowledge and information that's passed on, the person can, first of all, use it for negative purposes. They can use it to actually hurt someone, using it for the wrong reasons, or they can hurt their own selves. And the teacher doesn't want to be responsible or karmically responsible for someone using that knowledge that they've passed on and then hurt themselves, because there's also the concern of the karmic responsibility. That teacher doesn't want to get karmically hit in a negative way because they passed on knowledge and then someone used it and hurt themselves because they didn't have the right level of understanding. They weren't at the right level to actually, they weren't ready to use that information and that knowledge. They just weren't there yet. And so, by the outcome that she got, you can also see that she actually was not at a level where she was ready for that level of knowledge. And she basically ended up hurting herself, which is the exact thing that most Buddhist masters are concerned about. This is why you need to take the things that you do seriously. If somebody tells you, do this way, you could get a little creative sometimes, but with certain things, if you don't have the level of understanding to say, okay, from everything I've learned, I know if I do this, and this all together, this is the effect that it can have on me. If you're not quite there yet, if you can't say, I consider myself to be at an advanced level when it comes to understanding about the chakras and the chakra system, then you don't need to be getting creative. You need to just basically follow the instructions so that you don't hurt yourself. So, and you may be listening to me and thinking, oh, well, wow, I've actually been trying to awaken my clairvoyance, and I've been doing it in a very ambitious way, and I've been doing like maybe a certain brow chakra opening that said do it only 3 days, and I've been doing it, maybe it said only do it 3 days for a few minutes every day, and maybe you've been doing it 2 hours a day and you're on your 7th day of doing it. And you may be thinking, oh, wow, well, that's me. I haven't followed the directions, and I have done way, way more than the instructions said to do. And, you may be getting worried. What I usually tell people that come to me and explain that that's where they're at, first of all, I say this: stop doing the chakra work, whatever chakra work that you've been, going overboard with and doing too much. Stop doing that. And just meditate. Passive meditation, meaning no thought, don't think anything, just, blank mind. Just do a passive meditation every day for at least, maybe 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. Don't do anything with your chakra work. Just stick to meditation. And then you can also do, to help raise your vibrations, which raising your vibrations, meaning you'll hold more pure light, that will help heal your chakras. The high level of pure light that is within you, of course, those chakras will heal a little bit faster. So in addition to the meditation, if you want to be able to raise your vibrations and hold more pure light, you can add to that at a separate time. Also doing quite a bit of either praying, decreeing, or using a particular mantra. But don't do any more chakra work. If you've already overdone it, the only thing that I would advise you to do is to take, there's some chakra tests online that you could take that'll tell you the condition of your chakras, whether it's underactive, overactive, or just right. That's the only thing that I would suggest that you do, is take the chakra test maybe every other day to see, as how the chakras are doing, to see if they're healing, to see if they're still saying they're overactive, and then just meditate, just with no thought, just passive meditation, and do something to raise your vibrations, like praying, mantras, decrees, and do that for maybe at least a half an hour, and that's it. Other than that, if you want to do anything else that maybe could help heal your chakras, I would recommend basically eating right and exercise. Go online and do a little research about the chakras, like what fruits and vegetables might be conducive to helping the chakras. You might want some crystals. That'll be gentle enough. You can do that along with, in meditation. Maybe you could do 15 minutes while you're holding a certain crystal and just visualize yourself as being within the crystal and literally visualize that crystal healing that particular chakra that crystal is meant to help. So, you don't have to panic if you've overdone it. Just start the process of healing them to get back to square one, basically, so that you can continue on with whatever goal that you have, whether that was spiritual development or psychic development. But, this is just an example that I want to give you of how we can do something, just trying to be maybe a little creative, or maybe just thinking, if I'm going to do this for 2 hours, let me throw in chakra work. It seemed innocent enough, I know. However, when I heard it, the first thing I thought is, even before my friend said the results that she got and what she said she suffered, I already knew. Because when he said 2 hours and she did chakra work at the same time, I was like, oh my goodness. I mean, I could only imagine the damage, to her chakras, and I feel for her because basically she took that risk, and she actually, I think she did it for there was a noble reason why she did it. You know what I mean? She also wanted to help other people. She also wanted to do this and journal her results to help other people. So, her intentions were really, really good. But in the end, she hurt herself and really didn't end up teaching anyone anything good, because what someone's going to get out of that is, oh, well, that meditation that's in the Thoth book must not be a good thing to do. And it actually is. It actually is. It actually, after even just a few days of practicing it, and you only need to practice it for, 20 to 30 minutes in each direction, north and south, you do feel clearer after a few days of doing it. So it is a good meditation to do. It's just that some of these things you do not want to combine them with other things. Have to take it seriously. If you're going to read the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, and you're not really at a level where you should be reading that, then I would say proceed at your own risk. You may not, what you get out of it, you may not like. You may not receive the goals that you're expecting to get to. What you end up getting in the end, and we hate to see this happen, but it may put you off of spiritual work or put you off of, psychic development work. And that's the worst thing that could happen, that you decide to throw down the whole thing and walk away from it. And, I wouldn't want that to happen to anyone. I wouldn't want them to have that bad experience that, affects whether or not they're going to keep working towards their goals. So I've shared a little bit of that with you. So what I really want you to do is, I just want you to consider what I've said and meditate on it, because that information is really good to know if you're going to be doing chakra work. It's very telling, and always remember that there is tons of great information out there that's related to the chakras. Wisdomsdoor.com I just love, because it gives such in-depth information on the chakras, because it's a site that's actually geared towards healers. So it gives a lot of good in-depth information on how to work the chakras, what to be careful of. Really do your homework. Do your homework and make sure that you're able to, help yourself advance without hurting yourself. If you think for a minute that you've done something wrong, or you've done something that maybe has caused a problem, yeah, definitely seek help. If you just need to have somebody quickly to answer some questions, there's always Blog Talk Radio every evening. There's always shows on where really good psychics are doing psychic readings that know a lot about the chakras and chakra work, and where you can call in and ask that question, get a reading about your chakras. That's a good idea. Ask that question. Can you tell me anything about the state of my chakras, and maybe what I need to be working on right now or not working on? Help yourself and stay safe. Thank you for listening. I appreciate your time, and I hope this was helpful to you. Namaste.